How to prepare for your first mushroom trip. This is a video that I've been meaning to make for a while now, and I know I've gotten a lot of requests for it. And to be honest, I don't even know why I've taken this long to make it. So better late than never. Before I go on, I do need to make a disclaimer. I know you guys are probably sick to death of it, but I've got to do it. I do not condone the use of any drugs, being legal or illicit. This is purely for harm reduction purposes only. People are going to take mushrooms whether I make a video about it or not, but if I can reduce the amount of people that do get harm from this substance, then cool, I've done my job. This substance can be a very powerful tool and an incredible ally if used correctly, but if not used correctly, things can go south pretty quick and can do more harm than good. So please be aware of what you're getting yourself into and take this very seriously, because shrooms particularly can be very ruthless. And before you take this substance, please consult your doctor or physician, as they will give you the correct information about this substance and if this is for you or not, as they do have your best interests at heart. So assuming that you've done thorough research and have decided that this substance is for you, then this guide is going to serve as a good guide map and ways in which you can optimize the mushroom experience and just get the most out of it, especially for your personal growth and stuff like that. First step, intention. Make sure you have a clear-cut intention on why you're taking this substance to begin with. You may hear some people say that intentions are overblown when it comes to this stuff, but this is complete bullshit in my opinion, as an intention is going to give you a rough guide map on at least where to aim for. And there's a big difference between having an intention and having an expectation. If you have any expectations, drop them completely, as you will most likely get the opposite experience. And I would recommend physically writing your intention down on a piece of paper. Having your intention written down will remind you on why you're doing this trip to begin with. Because intentions are great and all, but having a heavy mushroom trip, you're most likely going to forget why the fuck you're taking this in the first place. So having something written down just to remind you like, okay, I'm here to focus on this, is never a bad thing. Step 2, dosage. Make sure that you don't bite off more than you can chew. It's much better to go a lower dose than taking too high of a dose, which can even scare you off completely. I wouldn't go any more than 2 grams for my first try. I would personally aim for about 1.5 to a 2 gram dose, just to tread the waters just a little bit and see how you go. And if this dose is too little for you, then cool, worst case scenario, you can go higher the next time. And you know what, the truth is that one trip is most likely not going to give you a full taste of the power of the mushroom anyway. So dipping your toes in the water is a lot better than just completely jumping in and not knowing what you're getting yourself into. Mushroom preparations. There are many ways in which you can ingest psilocybin mushrooms, so it's really up to the individual. You can make tea out of it, you can eat them raw, you can grind them up into powder and put them into capsules, you can make a smoothie out of it. It's really up to what you want to do. It really doesn't matter, it's still going to hit you. If you wanted to come on quicker and help with the nausea a bit, I would recommend having tea and mixing some ginger and some lemon into it. I personally dry the mushrooms first and then I put them into a smoothie and mix it with some fruit. I would also recommend fasting for at least 6 hours prior to this experience, as this not only will it help with the nausea, but it will help the mushrooms kick in a little bit more. This being said, of course, is just all based on my own subjective experience. I find that when I have a clean diet a couple days before the mushrooms and fast on that day, I get a much more powerful experience and I'm able to go much deeper within the experience. Whereas when I eat really shitty food before the experience, I tend to get a headache afterwards. This can differ from person to person. You can have the worst diet in the world, the mushrooms are still going to hit you. So it's not even about that. It's more about having a more cleaner and optimal experience. So you can give this a go if you want. I would recommend at least trying it, see how you go. Set and setting. This is arguably the most important aspect to consider going through any psychedelic experience, even more so than the dosage itself. You want to make sure you have a positive mindset and you don't have too much drama going on in your life right now. So if you're going through like a breakup or a family member just passed away or like just really full on shit is going on in your life right now, I would stay away from these substances altogether, at least until you've got your stuff sorted. Mushrooms are like these consciousness amplifiers, meaning that whatever emotion or feeling that you have within you is going to get amplified by a million. This means that if you have a little bit of fear or a little bit of doubt or a little bit of paranoia, a little bit of sadness within you, this will turn into pure sheer horror and terror, and it will consume you most likely if you don't have that stuff sorted before going into the trip. That being said, there are no bad trips, and if they do come up during a trip, it's a good way to kind of purge it out, lack of a better term. But on the flip side, if you're feeling happy and positive, this is going to turn into euphoria, nirvana, and bliss, and all these kind of things. And it's going to be beautiful. So yeah, just make sure you're in a positive mindset before going into a psilocybin experience. With setting, you want to be in a familiar household, which you feel comfortable in, and you know that you're not going to get any interruptions. Many people will say that taking mushrooms in nature is like the best combination in the universe. And yes, I agree that taking mushrooms in nature is fucking, it's amazing, it's beautiful, it's the best. But I would not recommend this for a first timer, for sure. Like I said, mushrooms do amplify your emotions. So if you see just a stranger walking by, that could be enough just to set yourself up for a bad trip. And I know with myself personally, when I see a stranger while on mushrooms, I get a lot of fear and paranoia that just takes over me. Like, oh no, what are they gonna think? Oh, what happens if they call the cops? And you just go into crazy fucking thought loops about these crazy things that can happen. So I wouldn't do it in public, no way. Like if you are to do it in nature, make sure it's like really far away and you know you're not gonna see anyone there whatsoever. But doing it in a familiar household is the way to go, for sure. And with music, many people would highly recommend this, as this will kind of guide your journey just a little bit instead of just having complete silence. So this is really up to you. If you are going to play music, I would highly recommend not having lyrical music, because if you're having someone singing or rapping, whatever the fuck you want to listen to, that is going to distract you away from what you need to deal with within your own psyche. So something simple will do, even if it's something like binaural beats or meditation music or just like nature sounds or just things like that. Something that's not going to distract you too much. And of course, it depends on what you're looking for. If your intention is just to get high on mushrooms and just listen to music and trip out, then cool, do that. I'm just talking about if you want to really go within your own psyche and sort out your stuff, it's best to not have too many distractions, so then you can focus on what you're here to do. The last mushroom trip that I had, I actually put this ayahuasca Icaros, which was like, oh my God, it was the best, man. It was a fucking best. It was like having like this digital shaman that was guiding me through this journey. So if you want to go listen to that, feel free. It really worked for me. And because this music is so specifically designed for guiding you through this psychedelic journey, you might find this useful. Because I've done the silent darkness and I've done it with music, and I found that with the silent darkness, it's like getting thrown in a river and it's just pitch black and you can't see anything. And having that music will be like having a lighthouse in showing you the general direction of where to aim for, instead of just kind of hitting wall from wall and just not knowing where the fuck you're going, you know what I mean? Trip setup. Extremely vital. If you guys have seen my previous trip reports, I've played the hero once before and things went south and had an extremely bad trip. But luckily, on those 2 instances, I've always had at least a backup, someone on standby. So I can have a red button and go, abort, abort, and they can come to my rescue. And even though I would still be having a bad trip, at least I'll have someone there to ground me to this reality. Because I couldn't even imagine what would have happened if I didn't have my girlfriend save me those last 2 times. But yeah, that was my fault. See what happens when you get cocky and think you can do this by yourself. So with the trip setter, just have someone that you would trust with your life. Pretty straightforward. Someone that's not going to fucking annoy you during the trip. They don't even have to be with you. Just knowing that they're in the same household will make everything feel better. So they can be in the other room and just, you know, chill on the computer, listen to music, do whatever they have to do while you're in your room doing your thing. And if you need to, you can call out to them. It's really, really nice and comforting knowing that you have someone there. And if you really insist on doing it by yourself, which I would definitely not recommend, please don't do this. At least have someone on standby at the very, very least. It's pretty scary things that can happen if you're by yourself on a high dose of mushrooms and not knowing what the fuck you're doing. You never know. Better be safe than sorry. Cool. So after you've got everything sorted, next step would be to take the mushrooms, I suppose. I would sit there and just meditate on it, just a bit. Focus on your breathing, be present, and always think of your intention and why you're doing this in the first place. This will help you a lot, especially during that come up. You're most likely going to feel a lot of anxiety I know that I do every single time, and it's not a pleasant feeling, but it does go away. The worst of it does go away, because that initial come up is like a rocket ship just getting ready for that lift off, and then your ego is just freaking out, going in defense mode, like what the fuck's going on? No. But this does pass, and it doesn't last very long, so don't worry about it. And also, when it does come on, one of the best advice that I can give you is to not resist and completely surrender to the experience. If things come up that feel unpleasant, that you don't want to deal with, if you close that door, all it's going to do is bang on the door harder. And if you keep ignoring it, it's eventually just going to boot down the door, and it's going to be even that much more unpleasant. So it's better just to go with the flow and go where the river wants you to take you. As long as you go into this experience with enough humility and you don't resist and surrender to the experience, you'll be fine. So that's pretty much it, guys. This isn't rocket science. It's all about being responsible and doing it in a familiar setting and having an intention, and of course having a trip sitter. It's up to you whether or not you want to trip with other people. If you do, make sure again that you trust them with your life and you actually know them. Me personally, when I see a stranger when I'm on shrooms, it freaks me out and I go full paranoid mode. It's scary. It's fucking scary, because you know, a lot of your insecurities and fear can rise up to the surface, and like I said, mushrooms can be quite ruthless. This of course is more when you go on the higher doses. Having like 2 grams on your first time is probably going to be more blissful and euphoric for the most part, especially if you follow the guidelines. See, having a heroic dose like 5 grams plus is like going scuba diving and the surface of the water has just got sealed shut and there's no way out. Whilst having like, you know, your 3 gram, 2 gram doses is almost like going snorkeling. Like you can kind of see what's going on, but if you want to take a breather, you can kind of back away a little bit and you have a lot more control over the trip. This of course is just generally speaking. Experiences do vary from the individual and of course the species of mushrooms that you take. Just weigh your mushrooms and make sure you get them from a trusted source. If you want to pick them yourself, go with someone who's experienced, because eating the wrong mushrooms can kill you. And psilocybin mushrooms are very infamous for making you think that you're gonna die.
And the thing to remember when you're calculating dose, and also once you're loaded, is that it can't kill you. It can only convince you that it can kill you.
But this is the really high doses, so don't worry about that stuff for, you know, your 2 gram, 1 gram dose. And before I go, just make sure you space out your trips. I find that psilocybin mushrooms in particular takes a very long time to integrate. So the day after your trip, you might be like, what the fuck just happened? You're just trying to figure it out and process the experience. But just know that like weeks later, even months later, more pieces of the puzzles are going to start to come together and you're going to understand the trip a bit more. And I'm also going to make a video on how to integrate psychedelic experience in the near future. So yeah, look out for that. I'm almost finished editing my girlfriend's first heroic dose trip report with some live footage, which is really exciting. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. That should come out very, very soon. But that's me, guys. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. Give this video a like and share it with your friends. It really does help us out. And for those who've been supporting me on Patreon, you guys are fucking amazing and you're really encouraging me to upload more frequently. So yeah, thanks again. For those who don't know what Patreon is and want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description below. That's it. Have an awesome day and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.